On this episode, I want to show you two very capable full-size vans, but they're also very different. I have a brand new Ram ProMaster and also a brand new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. If you're looking for a working machine or your next adventure van life vehicle, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you all the specs, all the utility on both of these vans, and also there's about $9,000 separating these two. So they're for different budgets and slightly different use cases. I also want to thank, of course, Mercedes for providing the loan vehicle to TFL Studios. And also I want to thank our friends at Johnson Auto Plaza here in Brighton, Colorado, for letting me show you this Ram ProMaster van. I really wanted to show them side by side and let you guys know how they compare. So this ProMaster right here is a front wheel drive based platform with a gasoline engine under the hood. And the Mercedes is a rear wheel drive platform with a turbo diesel engine under the hood. And have you already guessed which one is more expensive? Yeah, it'll be the Mercedes. But they have some similarities. Of course, they're both cargo vans. As you can see, there's no windows in the back. So let me start with the ProMaster. This is a 2022 model, and show you around it a little bit. And I also said that these vans are very capable. I want to explain what I mean. They're both high roof versions. The Ram ProMaster high roof is not quite as high as the Mercedes. I'll show you that in a second. And for 2023, Ram is updating their vans in a very significant way. And they will also have a super high roof version. So here, let me show you kind of the simple interior of these vans. So first of all, the sticker price on this ProMaster here, the way you see it configured, is close to $46,000. And I'll show you a little bit of technology and kind of driver usability in a minute. But I want to show you the engine first. Just kind of talk about powertrains because that's very important for fuel efficiency as well. There's a latch right here on the side of the dash, which may be hidden for some if you don't know where it's at. Then here is Stellantis have been using this engine for many years. This is a 3.6 liter gas V6. It's actually kind of hidden underneath there, but a lot of the usability and kind of maintenance items are here. You can see the oil dipstick and the filler. You can see the windshield washer fluid here, your coolant, and of course your brake fluid containers over here. So yes, you can reach some of the service items, but the engine is kind of hidden underneath. 276 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to 9-speed automatic transmission. Yep, 9 speeds. Fairly fancy. And the payload on this bad boy is 4,005 pounds. So yeah, you could build this out into an incredible motorhome van life adventure vehicle. But let me jump in and start it up. Here is the button on the side. The gasoline engine comes to life. And here is your center stack, and it looks fairly modern. I think it looks pretty good. Here's your shifter, 9 speeds, like I said, your climate control system, which is not fully automated. You can just control, how cold or hot you want it to be. And the Uconnect system right here in the center, with a few controls. This van does have some driver assistance technologies. Let me get a good view of this. It will kind of remind you of that. You can also have tire pressure monitoring. These tires are The pressures are quite high because, yes, this could be a heavy vehicle. Like I said, 4,000 pounds of total payload capacity in this cargo version. Fuel efficiency, I don't have the number for you because EPA doesn't rate these vans because they're in a different class. They're basically a 3/4 ton heavy-duty vehicle class, so EPA doesn't rate them. But this gas engine, if it's not pushed too hard, it can be fairly efficient. And Ram says you also have quite a bit of towing, but if towing trailers was your primary objective, I would not recommend a van. A van is really for carrying things inside of it, and sometimes heavy things, not really towing trailers. Here's your phone holder. Your device can be down there. Your cup holders are below here. And I don't know if you can tell, but huge mirrors, really great visibility throughout. And kind of a high sitting position. This is what these vans are really known for. And also the turning, really great turning radius. Because oftentimes these are delivery vehicles, and as such, they have to be very maneuverable. And this is a longer wheelbase version, which is a 159-inch wheelbase. So let me show you in the back and some of the usability that it has. By the way, here's your fuel filler over here. Steel wheels, once again, very simple, and front-wheel drive platform. Why is that important? Well, the front-wheel drive platform is important because it allows Ram to get up pretty low, very, very low rear load height. So let me demonstrate it. At least right now, there is no four-wheel drive version of the ProMaster or an all-wheel drive version of the ProMaster. But I can put my camera here and I can fairly easily step into it. Like I said, this roof height is not super tall, although this is a high roof version of the van. And relatively speaking, the step in height is actually reasonable. You might want to put, if you're camping out of it, you might want to put a little side step or use a hitch. This one is not equipped with a hitch. But that's kind of what the ProMaster is really known for, is really accessibility to the rear compartment. As you can tell, this one is not finished at all. It's all steel, no flooring, but tie downs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side, so 10 tie downs. And you can see there's kind of a shelf on top right there. There's a shelf where you can store things, of course, rear camera, lights, all that stuff, all the good stuff, and one sliding door. Like I said, this is a little bit more of a simple version of the van. Here we go. And a couple of lights, only a couple of lights here in this a little bit more simple version of this. There's the shelf I was talking about and manually adjustable seats. Here we go. So now let's see. So like I said, $46,000. Fuel efficiency could be in the high teens, depending on your driving and your load. I would say, 16, 17, 18, sometimes more in some conditions. That's available for you. But what if you want more torque? Well, you have to go here. You have to step up to the Sprinter. Sprinter offers, at least currently for 2022, a variety of engines, including turbocharged gasoline engine, turbocharged diesel engines, and this is the largest displacement engine. This is a 3-liter V6 that I can show you in a second. Actually, let me shut off this Ram truck. It is idling, but it's very quiet. I don't know if you were able to notice. It's very, very quiet. Now let's take a look at the Sprinter. This version of it has a slightly shorter wheelbase. That's about 144 inches instead of 159 on the ProMaster. But you can get this also in a 170-inch wheelbase and a proper high roof. I'll show you that in a second. I've been driving this Sprinter for a couple days, and I've seen efficiency as high as about 18.5 or 19. And this is kind of around town and some highway driving. As you can tell, the engine bay is larger. There's a little bit more access here. This is where you put the DEF fluid right there. Some of your coolant, some of your oil access, air filter, and of course, windshield wiper fluid. 188 horsepower, which is quite a bit less than in the gasoline engine, but 325 pound-feet of torque. And there's a lot of torque. There's a little bit of lag when you accelerate. It takes a little while to get going, but once it's going, it's really goes on fire. It's lots of torque. I carried the payload here yesterday for another video. I was carrying about 1,400 pounds in the back. That's a separate video that's on TFL Off-Road channel, and you can find it on alltfl.com. But you can kind of tell this van is a little bit more fancy. You got power seats in typical Mercedes fashion. Some of the controls are here on the door. Nice seating surfaces. There's a bulkhead here to separate the cargo compartment from the driver and passenger compartment. There is some cubbies, shelves up here. Let me jump in and start it. Both of these vans offer quite good driver assistance and safety tech. The button here to start the engine is a little bit more visible. Of course, the radio always comes on, no matter how many times I turn it down before I shut this off. But you can tell after 71 miles, I have about 18.8 mpg, and I've been driving it pretty, not too aggressively, but I wasn't babying it either. This version of the Mercedes has a smaller screen. You can also get a larger screen, a little bit more fancy. Automated climate control system, pardon my mug. A little glove compartment under here. The mirrors are a little bit smaller than on the ProMaster, but still okay. I prefer the ProMaster mirrors. There's so much visibility there. But still a very high sitting position. Lots of clearance, lots of visibility, great maneuverability. The ProMaster may be a little bit better at maneuverability than the Mercedes, but here you have still lots of capability and maneuverability. So let me shut this engine off. It's a little bit louder outside. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Not much. There's a little bit of it lets you know it's a diesel. The fuel door is here. This one has 3,803 pounds of payload. The other one was 4,000. So they're close. 3,800 pounds of payload, that's almost like a 1-ton pickup truck territory. 3/4 pickup trucks, 3/4-ton pickup trucks have about 2,000 to 3,000 oftentimes payload. These ones are approaching 4,000. Here, as you can tell, the rear compartment is a little bit more finished. You have floor. We have some evidence of something I was carrying in here. Like I said, that's a separate video. I actually loaded a piece of machinery in the back of here. Also, many tie downs, 5 on each side, also 10. You can see kind of it's not fully finished, but lots more lights. You can see some of the wiring that's running along the ceiling. There are lights on the side, lights in the front, and large bar lights front and back. So it's a little bit more finished, and that's why it's more expensive. This one is at about $55,000, the way you see it here. But let me show you the step-in height. By the way, this is not the four-wheel drive, like I said. Four-wheel drive is available. But let me step in. And you know what? I really have to stretch and get in here. This is about 29 inches approximately of height. The ceiling is taller, but the step-in height is also taller. This is a very large vehicle. Let me see if I can completely fit into the doorway. Yeah, my head touches just a little bit in both of these, but the Mercedes does have slightly taller space. And of course, you can get them in multiple wheelbase and body length configurations. So I hope this kind of lets you know a little bit about what these vans are about. Which one would I prefer? Well, you know, by the way, the hitch, Mercedes can tow up to about 5,000 pounds. But like I said, if you want to tow, these are probably not your machines. I would take the ProMaster in this case. I like the little bit lower step-in height. I probably won't be off-roading my van too much, maybe some dirt roads. For that job, I think the ProMaster would be just fine. But if I wanted to go four-wheel drive capability, I would have to go with a Sprinter. Yes, the Sprinter is more expensive, but like I said, the simple engine in the ProMaster, better entry price, still quite a lot of tech, better visibility in my opinion. The ProMaster has a lot of strong points. And of course, if you want a little bit nicer interior, a little bit more tech maybe, Mercedes would be a good choice, especially in four-wheel drive if you really cared about that. Well, thank you for joining me on this episode, and come back to oldtfl.com for everything automotive, one-stop shop, one place. As always, I'll see you next time.